Welcome to the driving event of the brand new Mercedes-Benz A-Class. We're here at Croatia. It's a wonderful, beautiful place. We have the sea, we have the sun, everything is perfect, but there's one thing that we don't like so much. Croatia is a place where loads of new people come to make holiday, and as you hear, they're building houses everywhere. You can hear a jackhammer, or if you hear a big lorry, you don't have to mind. It's just the way it is at the moment. But now let's talk about the new A-Class. We talked about the design of that car at the world premiere already. So now we just have a short overview about the most important changes. So let's start with the design at the front of the car. The first thing that you got to know when you look at it is it looks a lot similar to the new CLS because we have this new front here. It's the same with the CLS. We have this very sharp, very thin new headlights, and this car here now features the multi-beam LED headlights as well. And we do have the new grille where you can see it's not only that part, it's also the part down here. And it looks a bit open to the bottom, so that makes the car look a lot more solid on the road. And then what you see is the bonnet. The bonnet is very, very steep and very low, very close to the road. So that gives the car an impression from the front that looks a lot more dynamic, a lot more sporty and aggressive than its predecessor. Overall, the new A-Class is 12 centimeters longer than its predecessor. Now it's 4.41 meters long. And on top, they increased the wheelbase by 3 centimeters as well. When you look at the front, I think that bonnet is really very long. And if you look from the side to the whole car, I think it looks a bit too long. But on the other hand, it looks perfect from the front. And when you then look here, you have this quite flat front window. We have a standard roof line, and that ends here with that nice spoiler. But more important, when you look from the side to the car, is they reduced the lines. So that makes the side of the car a lot more clean and, as I think, a lot more modern as well. Looking at the rear of the car, we see what we saw at the side. We have a reduction of lines. The whole rear of the car looks a lot more clean and I think a lot more fresh as well. But the most important change here is, of course, we have splitted taillights. And behind that is a very important information, because now the boot lid is 20 centimeters wider than with a predecessor. That makes loading and unloading a lot more easy now.
The A-Class offers 370 liters of boot volume with the rear seats up, and a maximum of 1,210 liters when folded down. This is matching the size offered by the competitors. The Audi A3 Sportback comes with 380 up to 1,220 liters. And the BMW 1 Series offers between 360 and 1,200 liters of boot capacity.
My test car features the 1.5-liter four-cylinder inline diesel, and that offers 116 horsepower and 260 newton meters of torque. That doesn't sound that much, but I have to say, when you drive the car, especially on countryside roads while starting or inside of a city, the car feels more powerful than it is. Maybe that's because of the combination with the 7-speed automatic gearbox. The only point where you can feel that the car should offer a bit more power is when you drive a bit more quicker, a bit more sporty, or with higher revs. But I have to say, on the other hand, our car only took 5.3 liters per 100 kilometer driven diesel, and I think that's a very nice number. So I think if you see that together, it works absolutely well. One of the highlights of the new A-Class is the so-called MBUX infotainment system. And next to me is Marco Santi. He's part of the development team of exactly that feature. So Marco, what does that mean, MBUX, and what are the highlights of the system?
So MBUX means Mercedes-Benz user experience, and it's everything to do with the customer interacts with the car, inside the car and outside the car. So to start with, one of our main features are, for instance, it looks awesome. When you have the widescreen cockpit that you saw on the car, it's just brilliant graphics. It is very easy to use. We have a touch screen now in the car, so you can touch it. We have our steering control pads on the steering wheel, and also you can interact with the system now with natural speech. But that's not all. Of course, the system can be updated over the air. That's made possible through to a great connectivity that the car has, and it learns intelligently over the time.
A question, if I buy one A-Class and I don't want to have these big screens because it's extra cash, how about if I'm using the smaller ones?
That's also part of MBUX. In Germany,